outside. Michael McDowell pops a right front tire. Here's Martin Truex to the bottom. Blaney blocks him off too. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott went 4 wide on the back straightaway. They're side by side for the lead.
Hear it live on Chattanooga's official NASCAR radio station.
Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM.
The voice of NASCAR.
I feel good.
This is Two Millennials Talk. I'm Keon Rose.
I'm Russell Stroud.
And we're opposite end millennials as far as the spectrum of what you would include in it. It's a vague term.
It is a vague term. Well, it depends. Yeah.
Like, I'm older than you, but we're definitely in the same generation.
Especially experientially, right? Because we've all gone through pretty much the same crap.
Yeah. Especially online and
things
like that. Like if you just go, well, the internet helped raise me. If that's a line that you can say out loud.
We both had pre-2007 internet experiences, which is something future generations will never, ever get.
Yeah, they'll have missed dial-up entirely.
Yep. We got DSL pretty late, my family.
I just remember like there was a time we just didn't have it. Like we had dial-up and then we just didn't have internet for a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and then we joined the rest of the world.
It's about time.
In modernity. Around.
You were in the antiquity period.
Yeah, just for a little bit. We went forwards and then we went backwards.
We were early modern in my family. DSL was the thing for a long time until I was like I don't know, like 16. We finally got off of 5 megabits per second. And we had the local telephone company's internet service, and we would have stayed with them, except we were outside of city limits by like half a second. Like literally, we're almost in an enclave. Our house is about a block away from city limits, and so the telephone company would not run fiber out to our house.
Wow.
Yeah, because we were, just outside that limit. They wouldn't do it, so we had to switch to charter.
Oh man.
And they ran a cable like up the street into our house.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they got their money back out of it. They didn't pay us like installation fees or anything, or charge us installation fees or anything. So capitalism for the win, I guess.
I suppose, yeah. But I see on our little title there on our YouTube video, the Alien Covenant.
Alien Covenant comes out tomorrow. I'm excited for Alien Covenant, but I'm not nearly as excited for Alien Covenant as I am for something else that comes out tomorrow.
What else comes out tomorrow?
Linkin Park's new album.
I forgot they existed. And I don't know if that was trauma-based that I forgot that they existed, or I just straight up forgot that they existed. But
yeah, Linkin Park's album comes out tomorrow.
How are they still making music?
With instruments, I assume. No, they're coming out with a new album, and the new single has come out, and apparently people are pretty upset about it because it doesn't sound anything like Hybrid Theory. Which makes sense because really only Hybrid Theory could sound like Hybrid Theory did. That's their first album.
Yeah, and also, where was this outrage previously? Nothing they've done since Hybrid Theory has sounded like Hybrid Theory.
Yeah, they started getting into like, we're going to do a rap with Jay-Z. They did the whole thing for a while, and they're like going to collaborate with other artists. I think they did one with like Lil Kim or something like that. I don't know. It was weird. And
I don't know how many albums back it was because I just haven't heard of them. But
I think this will be their 4th. They haven't come out with a whole lot.
So it might have been the 3rd one where it was very electronic. It wasn't anything like what you would have associated with Linkin Park previously, to the point where there was a song that they played during the NBA Finals a few years back. And it was really catchy. And I was like, oh, who is this? Oh, Linkin Park.
Oh, no. What? You suddenly can't like it anymore.
Yeah, nope. I back out.
Darn, I rescind my like.
I rescind my like. I don't want it.
It's like when you
strongly dislike.
It's like when you go through your Facebook profile and you unlike pages that you liked when you were like, 12 when it first came out.
Oh, I had to do that the other day.
I started getting like Naruto updates and stuff. I was like, I don't even remember liking Naruto.
Yeah, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Like I remember liking Naruto. I don't remember liking it on Facebook. Like just.
I remember specifically going through like a phase when I was like 13 where I just go through and like all the different things that I in real life like. So going back and unliking all the things I liked as a 13-year-old is a painful process.
In large part because you're just like, what a stupid 13-year-old I was. Man, I was an idiot.
I was an idiot until I was like 20. So
yeah, well, you got there sooner than I did.
Yeah, I guess
it went a little further for me. I think it was like 22 before like my eyes, like the light just came in.
I'm only a year into not being dumb, though.
Just, like, man, I was a complete clown. What happened in my entire life?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, liking One Piece. Freaking Bleach. Feel the wrath of my blade. He says that in the first episode, by the way. He says, feel the wrath of my blade.
I remember watching One Piece on TV and being incredibly excited that it was on TV in America. And then not understanding what was happening where there was supposed to be cigars. Because I read the manga. I had like the first volume of it that they released in Shonen Jump. And I read that thing like over and over and over again.
You actually read Shonen Jump?
Yeah, I did.
Even I wouldn't buy Shonen Jump. I was like, no, that's too nerdy.
Well, because here's the thing. Like, my parents were not huge fans of anime. Like, they weren't like, no.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they didn't like it. But if you had it as a book, they wouldn't look at it. My parents didn't care what books I read. They were just like, don't watch horrible things on TV. And you're like, okay. Huh. So I ended up reading a ton of manga instead of watching anime.
Huh.
Then One Piece comes out on TV, and like, there's supposed to be cigars because they're pirates.
No,
and
pirates do bad things sometimes.
Yeah. So the company that I think that was releasing it, 4Kids.
4Kids, yeah.
Edited out the cigars. I don't know what they were holding. It was like smoking lollipops or something like that.
Yeah, it actually was lollipops. I remember seeing a compilation of that. They did a lot of stuff. They edited out like rice balls from Pokemon and changed them into like hamburger because all Americans know hamburgers. We Ameriburgers are all into that.
There we go. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, they had no guns.
No guns. Yeah, he's just pointing his finger like that.
Didn't replace it with anything. There was just no gun. You stop right there with you. Stop. I'm telling you to stop with my lethal point.
Yeah, like, even if it is a cop, if I'm a bad guy, I'm not particularly worried if a cop is like pointing at me like, oh no, he might.
Oh, there we go.
He might do like Sergeant Major knife hands at me.
It's Seto Kaiba's security team. They're trying to point me to death.
No, the accusations, I can't handle them. So Alien Covenant actually came out today, by the way. It officially came out today, but I'm going to go see it tomorrow. Going out with a friend and my sister, and we're going to go see it tomorrow. And I'm kind of hyped. I read the reviews. They're not particularly great, which makes me a little bit worried, but maybe I'll like it.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you feel on pre-movie reviews? Because I avoid them like the plague.
I have not read anything of the plot. I just saw like stars. You know what I mean? Like I saw 5.5 out of 10. I was like, oh, that's not good. That's all I've seen.
I avoid even that. Like, really? I don't want to see numbers. I don't want anybody to influence my opinion on this, so that if the movie is complete garbage, but I like it, then at least I know from the beginning I liked it.
Well, see, this is the problem I had with Inception. It wasn't really a problem, but that was the thing I had with Inception, where I went to watch Inception with and actually there's a funny story about why I went to see Inception, but we won't get into that. I went to see Inception, and when I went to see it, I already knew it was a 10 out of 10 because I saw the reviews. I saw it like a week after it had come out. So I was like, well, this is going to be the best movie of all time. And I watched it, and I thought it was really good, but I was like, I don't know if it's really a 10 out of 10, though. And the whole time I was like sitting through the movie, I'm like, yeah, but where's it start to be a 10 out of 10? I love the movie, but at the time, being it was like 2008 when that came out, so I was like 14. I was like, when is this a 10 out of 10? I don't get it.
Right, because your brain can't help but do that if someone already tells you like this is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
then there is some part of you that sort of leans back and goes, well, impress me then, because I'll contrast your Inception movie experience with my Inception movie experience.
Okay,
which is that I went on a camping trip with some friends, and we were camping, and then we were just kind of like after a while. We just kind of got bored camping. Like we realized like none of us actually really like the outdoors. How the hell do we get out here? And can we come back? And so we ended up coming back a day early just out of boredom. Like it wasn't even like the trip was bad. And we saw the lake. We hung out at the lake. It was great. But after a while, we were just like, what? Our phones don't work.
After a while, a body of water is a body of water.
We got to get out of here. So we drive back, and we get back earlier than we thought because just the road was really clear.
Oh.
And Inception was out. So my friend goes, hey, you want to just go see Inception instead of going home? And we went straight from the wilderness, essentially, into the movie theater.
Oh, America.
Where we watched Inception. And I loved it. But also, I had no point of reference. There was nobody else's opinions rattling around in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could tell you I thought it was a 10, but I wasn't even thinking about that was kind of the point. And so, yeah, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with some level of hype where you get burned by it. You expect something to be great and it's not even good. You expect something, someone says something's terrible, you avoid it, and then like years later you check it out, you're like, no, actually that was fine. So with Alien, I've just put my head in the sand like some kind of bizarre ostrich and just said, you know what, I'll find it when I find it.
Yeah, you know, that's what I should have done, but I accidentally saw the review because I went to look up showtimes is my problem, and like the first thing that comes up was like Metacritic 5 out of 10. I was like, oh man,
yeah, that doesn't help anything.
Like, I couldn't even help it. You know, you're coming about people telling you it's a bad movie and you go back and realize it's not. Imagine like the guy who's told like, don't watch Attack of the Clones. It's really not very good. And then like, you know, so he doesn't back when it came out in like 2003 or whatever. And then he watches it today in 2017. He's like, man, I really shouldn't have watched it.
Yeah, he was right. Dang it.
That freaking Attack of the Clones. Like Alien Resurrection, I would say like don't bother watching Alien Resurrection. It's not really that good, you know. And then probably a while later, they're like, yeah, it wasn't really worth seeing Alien Resurrection. It's really not that good.
Yeah, like not all things get better when someone downplays it.
And I will say, Alien Resurrection is not bad. It's just not that good.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies where you're just like,
yeah, you can pass on it. It's, if you didn't see it, your life can continue. Like there's certain movies where, like, how did you not see that?
You're sitting through 2 hours for like 15 minutes of cool stuff. I just don't think that's worth it.
Yeah,
it's like the opposite of Mad Max, where you sit through like an hour and 45 minutes of cool stuff, and there's maybe 15 minutes where you're like, oh, this is kind of dragging.
Yeah, and they don't put you through it very often.
No. Like plot, what plot? Just blow stuff up. Who cares?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like the 15 minutes of plot that's basically there.
Yeah,
and it's weird because like you leave and you felt like you've watched this incredibly cohesive story.
Seriously, I watched Mad Max Fury Road. Oh gosh, in the theater like 5 times. I liked it that much. I went to see it so many
times.
It was so good.
Yeah. You had to see it.
You have to have seen it in theaters. My favorite thing about Mad Max Fury Road is I was watching the Oscars with my family, and they were all rooting for Star Wars to get all these different awards. much to their chagrin and my delight, Mad Max got like all the awards. It was like best special effects, Mad Max Fury Road. Best director, whatever his name, Mad Max Fury Road. Best villain, Mad Max Fury Road. All these different Oscars. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
It's the best movie of whenever it came out, 2015.
It's one of those movies that when you watch it, you know it's going to win awards. Like there's no way that it doesn't win at least a bunch.
There was one movie that just immediately stuck out for me that was like that.
Which one was that one?
I can't remember the name.
It's like this is an Oscar award.
The Revenant.
Yes.
The Revenant stuck out. Like as soon as the first shot, I was like, that's going to win an Oscar.
That opening long take.
Yeah, you're just like, there's the Oscar. No, actually, it was the Indian Attack that got me, where I was like, okay, they're really going to give it an Oscar now. It's too good. They can't not.
Yeah. For me, it wasn't the scene that I thought was going to win an Oscar, but it was just the most impactful scene that I had seen in a movie theater in probably my whole life, was when he gets attacked by the grizzly bear.
Yeah.
And I was just, I just felt horrified. Like, oh yeah, they tell you bears are scary. That's why they're scary. That's why they're scary. Nope.
And I'm rooting for him the whole time. I'm like, hey, he's got a gun. He's going to shoot him. And he shoots him and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
you're like, oh no.
Oh, that's probably exactly how that would go.
In the modern era, you expect like a gun when you shoot something for it to work and like kill the thing. But for him, good old musket doesn't really, it's probably a Kentucky long rifle actually, but he shoots the thing with a black powder rifle anyway. And it doesn't do it.
Yeah, doesn't pack the punch necessary to stop a grizzly.
That just stinks, man.
Yeah,
they're trappers. I wonder what year was the Revenant taking? It was early 1800s, right?
Had to be.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you exactly when.
Or was it after the Civil War? Shoot, because for some reason I'm thinking that the Tom Hardy character was a Civil War veteran, but maybe not.
I'd have to see the movie again.
Yeah, it's been too long. I've only seen it the one time.
The issue with The Revenant, and it's crazy that you just said that, because we've both watched Mad Max multiple times before it ever like left the theaters.
Oh yeah.
And The Revenant, which you can also agree is a great movie, only seen once.
True.
there are some movies that no matter how great they are, like the rewatch value is not that high.
I'd say that's true for movies like Schindler's List. I don't ever want to watch that movie again.
Granted, I would like to watch The Revenant again. Like, I enjoyed watching that movie. Schindler's List is a great movie, and I don't want to offend anybody with what I'm about to say. It's a great movie. It's not entertainment.
No, I agree. It's more of a docudrama than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say docu, but you know what I mean. It's historical, not fiction. It happened, I think. Historical drama.
Yeah. And there are stories that can be that and entertainment, like Mad Men.
Yeah.
But specifically just because of the subject matter, Schindler's List is not. It's just not entertainment. It's a great film. It's great cinema. It's not great entertainment.
Have you seen Valkyrie?
I have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Cruise is not Tom Cruise in Valkyrie. It's like finally Tom Cruise is somebody other than Tom Cruise in a movie.
Yeah, and it was great.
That was a good movie. I could watch that movie over and over again. I love that movie.
Yeah, that one was really good. And I also like how they just sort of like, I like that there was no like everybody was talking in a German accent. There was no accents done. It was just, hey, first we're speaking in German, and then we just sort of transition into everyone speaking in English.
Yeah.
It's Germany. Okay. Yeah,
it's like, we get it. It's the Third Reich. I mean, what else are they going to speak?
Thank you. Yeah.
They're speaking Italian. Everyone knows they spoke Gaelic in the Third Reich. It was the official de facto language.
Right. Yeah. So
if only those guys had survived, which goes to show not all Nazis are necessarily evil. He did try to kill Hitler.
I mean, you like, it's one of those things where it's like you end up inside an organization that this largely is considered evil.
Yeah.
And you as an individual, you're just evil. You can't escape the tag of the sort of like larger umbrella that you've unfortunately fallen under.
And it's like, oh shoot. It's like Erwin Rommel is a historically significant and very popular still tank commander. And he happened to be in the Third Reich. He was in the Africa campaign, but he sort of accidentally ended up in the whole Nazi situation. He really was not politically a Nazi or ideologically. He was just like a reluctant soldier more than anything. And it's very interesting to read about him. So look up Erwin Rommel sometime. Really interesting guy. Kind of a cool guy too. Unfortunately had to fight under the Nazi banner, but so did a lot of reluctant people too. But topic for another day, maybe.
It's just one of those things that gets lost in the shuffle of history.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Hitler's history is written by the victors, and we kind of won that one. And I'm glad we did.
But it's just one of those things where unfortunately, broad strokes get painted over stuff. So, did we have any other Alien Covenant observations?
Alien Covenant observation? No, I'm hyped to see it.
I'm hyped to see it too. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it this weekend. I'm going to have to find some time to see it.
Yeah.
The issue here is when I go to the movies, my girlfriend likes to go to the movies with me. She is absolutely not going to enjoy Alien on any level. Like, I had a hard time convincing her to go see Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like friendly and fun.
Yeah.
And funny. And then when we went to go see it, and she liked it actually, but it was like this. I know her. We can't do that one. This is not going to work.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, really.
so I'm going to have to find a way to get there and see it myself, unless of course you come back and tell me it's horrible and not to see it. In which case
you'll wait 10 years and then watch it.
And then watch it. Yeah. Okay. So here's my thing too with the hype stuff though.
Okay.
I trust word of mouth more than I trust ratings. Like, Metacritic is a combination. It's a compilation of a bunch of people's ratings. And it doesn't take into account all their different criteria of what makes a great movie and a bad movie and all that stuff. So you end up with stuff that winds up being like 5s and 6s that might be like maybe my personal 8 or 9.
Right.
So like with someone like you, we have similar movie tastes. If you tell me, hey, pass on this, like I'll probably actually listen to you.
Yeah.
Like unless I just really want to know what happened, I will probably just listen to you on that one.
Yeah. And it's see my main thing for wanting to see the movies that it's a direct sequel to Prometheus, and I thought Prometheus had a lot of really good ideas. Some of the execution fell flat, but I thought it had some really good ideas. kind of like Marxism, and then it moves into the second. So the sequel looks like it's going to be pretty dang good if it follows what I think it's going to follow. But we'll find out. We'll see.
I agree with you on that. Like, my thinking is, if it's at least as good as Prometheus,
I won't be upset.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like it to exceed it, obviously, but if it's at least as good, I'll have a good time, and I won't feel like I've wasted my money. That's where I am with that.
Yeah, I mean, we still have Alien and Aliens. It's not like this movie.
The franchise is ruined.
Yeah, you've gone and ruined everything. Like, unless they're like, Ripley never existed the whole time or some ridiculous thing like that.
Yeah,
I'm not worried.
This is not really a reboot.
No, no, it's a prequel.
Yeah,
so they might refine some ideas, but it's not a reboot. Speaking of which, Blade Runner 2049 comes out in October. I'm still hyped about that.
Yeah, the hype train on that one's never going to end.
It's never going to end for me. And if it doesn't at least make me feel like I'm back in the Blade Runner universe with new stuff, I'm going to be pretty upset. If I'm just like, this is not Blade Runner, I'll just be really upset.
Right. Which, I mean, just looking at the trailers, there's no way that you'll have that feeling. Like, it'll feel like Blade Runner. Now, whether or not it's like good Blade Runner, that's the question. That's what's left to be seen. But it looks like it'll feel like the universe.
Yeah. Which
for me is like the lowest bar to clear on that. That is acceptable to me. I hope that we go beyond, but like, I have like low thresholds when I go to watch movies. Like, what is the least acceptable thing that can happen here before I get up and like walk out of the theater?
See, my thing is, if I get so angry at a movie, that to me is entertainment, because now I'm angry at the movie and I enjoy being angry at movies.
Yeah. So that is a thing too.
Even if I hate it, I'll still enjoy hating it.
Yeah, the worst thing that you can have from a movie is a movie that makes you feel nothing.
Yeah.
Like, a movie that you hate is still fun. I'm trying to think of a movie that like I hated and I was just like furious all the way through that I had to watch it. But like,
I can't think of anything.
I know there was one. I went with my brother to the theater, and we just there was some poor movie that we were watching, and it was awful, and we just wound up just riffing on it the whole movie, and it was just us in the theater because we went like in the middle of the week.
There was a Seth Rogen, James Franco movie I saw. That I was dragged to it by people I don't hang out with anymore. But it was a movie about like the end times or something.
Yeah, This Is the End.
This Is the End. What a terrible movie.
I heard it was bad.
And the funny thing is, I laughed really hard at a few of the jokes, but the whole time I still hated the movie. Like, some of the jokes did not fall flat and were actually really funny.
I think that's the thing with like any movie involving Seth Rogen, is that there's going to be 2 or 3 jokes in the almost 2 hours that you're sitting there that really land.
There were just some scenes in the movie that I hated so much that they outweighed the things that I really liked about the movie.
That's all of his movies.
It's like Star Wars Episode 1. There's some really good stuff in there, but you got Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, you got Jar Jar, and he is the only thing I remember about that movie.
Like, I love Qui-Gon Jinn as a character. I think he's great, and I've harped about Qui-Gon Jinn before to various people I know. I think Qui-Gon Jinn is one of the best Star Wars characters ever, but he's unfortunately outweighed by Jar Jar Binks and young Anakin Skywalker.
Correct. And you know how you know that is that those are the only 2 characters that anybody remembers.
Yeah,
from that movie.
And Darth Maul. Darth Maul was awesome.
He was cool. That's fair.
And I will say, I loved Star Wars Episode 1 when I was a kid. Take that for what you will.
I think your kid side is more optimistic. It sees the Darth Maul in the movie and goes, yes, I can watch this.
Plus cool fights.
Yeah. He's very good at that.
Can't go wrong there.
All right. Coming up next, I want to talk about the Star Trek Discovery show that's coming out.
Okay, and foreign movies too.
Yeah. 2 Millennials Talk.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
iBuyChattanoogaHouses.com, Chattanooga's premier house buyer. Do you have a house you need to sell fast? We are buying. Call us today. We are local folks. We will buy your house as is, no repairs needed. We will give you a cash offer and close on the day of your choice. Call us right now, 423-834-7321. Need to sell a house fast? We are buying. Are you experiencing one of these situations? Inherited a house you have no need for? Behind on your property taxes? Nightmare tenants making your life miserable? Too many repairs needed and don't have a desire to fix? Behind on payments and facing foreclosure? Recently divorced and need a way out of the house? Never really wanted to be a landlord and just want to cash out? Trying to relocate and need to sell your house? Do you need to sell a house fast? We are buying. No fees, no hassles, no repair costs. Close on the day of your choice. Our process is simple. Call us today. We inspect your property right away. We make you a fair cash offer. We close on the day of your choice. Call us today, 423-834-7321. Visit our website, ibuychattanooga.com. Call us today, 423-834-7321. ibuychattanooga.com.
Need windows? Hey folks, do you need new windows? Good news. Window Depot of Chattanooga has a great special going on right now. 10 high-quality, energy-efficient double-hung vinyl windows installed for only $29.90. That's right, 10 double-hung vinyl windows, only $2,990. And yes, they qualify for the TVA rebates. Call 894-0011. Window Depot of Chattanooga today, located at 5950 Shalford Road. Call 894-0011 today.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news now.
A SWAT team was called out to Highway 58 in response to a domestic dispute and a shots fired call. Cops say a man retreated into his home and refused to come out, and that's when the SWAT teams and negotiators were called in. CPD public information officer says nobody's in danger and the businesses are not affected. Unsanctioned counterfeit currency appearing in Dunlap. The Dunlap police report that $20 and $10 counterfeit currency appearing on the streets of Dunlap. The Chattanooga Police Department will be performing compliance checks on different businesses around the area to make sure they card individuals to make sure they're 21 before buying drinks. Chattanooga police say a car traveling southbound on Hale Street lost control and turned over, rolling on its side. It took both the volunteer fire department and the Hamilton County EMS to get the driver out of there and extricated. He was taken to the hospital afterward. The extent of his injuries not yet released. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
Expect very warm and humid weather out there through your afternoon. An isolated shower or storm may pop up, highs upper 80s. Tonight through early Friday morning, a few more isolated showers and storms possible. Lows upper 60s, highs Friday back into the upper 80s. Mainly dry and hot on Saturday, highs near 90. Come to Larry's Restaurant in Trenton for some of the finest home-style cooking around. Larry also offers catering. Larry's open Thursdays through Sundays, just off 559 on Highway 136 West Trenton. And I'm Sports 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford. On Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Wow! I feel good.
Two Millennials Talk. I'm Keon Rose.
I'm Russell Stroud.
And
But
so we got the I feel like I'm going to set a record for ums and uhs in the next second here.
Well, I don't think so.
Star Trek Discovery.
Be
Be decisive and say a thing.
Okay.
Star Trek Discovery trailer came out. First look trailer.
Yes. I have seen it.
I like it.
I like it, but I don't like the diversity. It makes me upset.
Does it make you upset?
I need some more white people in there. What the heck?
Now, here's the thing. I didn't notice that were there not any?
No, there weren't.
which is crazy because like that's the one thing that like anytime a black person's like, hey, there needs to be more black people in this movie.
Yeah.
Most white people will tell you they did not notice.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
It's not like anybody's doing this on purpose. And I like the way that Jerry Seinfeld talked about it because Seinfeld was, talking about shows that he's helped with casting for before and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just saying, you choose the people who you think are funny and interesting. No one's sitting down going, I want this show to be just about white people. it's, you cast the show, you say, I want the main character to be a person who does this within this age range and all that stuff, and then the people who come audition and do the best for those roles there end up sort of in them without there being any particular kind of racism happening. So it's just weird. You said like there aren't any white people, and I did not notice. I didn't see any anyway. I mean, not that it's like a huge problem or anything. There's an Asian, so it's close enough, but I just didn't notice. But it looks cool. I like that in the trailer you see two things. You see some kind of moral conundrum, which is just sort of what Star Trek is all about.
Yeah.
And then there's also more of an emphasis placed on exploration. There is something I did not like about the trailer. It's a nitpick. It's not a big deal.
Hit me.
This is supposed to be a prequel to the original series.
Yes, it's a sequel to Enterprise, prequel to the original series.
Why does it look like their technology is better?
Thank you. I'm so ticked off about that. The only thing they got right was the ship design, which is based on Ralph McQuarrie's original design for the Enterprise. Ralph McQuarrie, if you don't know, did half of the concept art for Star Wars. So think of the Star Destroyer, okay? The triangular thing. He designed that. So when he designed, he's into triangles apparently. When he designed the ship for Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the terrible Star Trek movie that everyone forgets. Sorry. He basically had a Star Destroyer with like the saucer section attached to the front of it. He's like, here's your starship. That's basically what they're doing for Star Trek Discovery, which I think is actually kind of cool. It looks goofy, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and also, if it is a prequel to the original series, then a goofy-looking ship, it's the ship before the ship, right? Like, it's not...
Yes.
It's what this thing looks like when it's in development, and we haven't figured out like how to make this thing fly without looking absolutely silly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you look back at old cars, and, like the Model T is hilarious to look at.
It is pretty funny.
Right? Like, because we didn't get to the point where cars are what they are.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that too. I looked at her suit when she was outside of the ship, and I was like, that is the most there's no way.
Yeah. Even Next Generation stuff, it just looked like, the 90s, and everything was smooth and like metallic, but
yeah. This looks better than anything that they ever had, which if this is a prequel, there's so many continuity problems.
Which is something Enterprise did very well, I will say. Mm-hmm. Enterprise made things look really rough. Their suits were like NASA suits. It was great. I love the design of everything in Enterprise.
Yeah, I still feel like Enterprise is really underrated.
I feel that way now because I loved it when I first saw it on UPN, because that was the last new Star Trek series I ever watched, and I was way too young to really appreciate it at the time.
Yeah, same here.
One thing I will say, which I just thought of when you were talking about the new technology, they really need to not make any more prequels because, like,
we're running out of real estate.
Here's why. Because why didn't they ever mention anything that this crew did?
Ever did, right?
Because, like, all the time, like, in Next Generation, they'll mention, like, Captain Kirk and, a few, back when the Captain Kirk of the previous Enterprise did all these things that I didn't, I learned from their mistakes. Number one. But
no one can ever mention what this crew did.
I remember when the racially diverse crew of the Star Trek Enterprise, they had an alien that could sense fear and death, but we never used it. Never used them again. Number one,
even
ended a complete disaster.
That's a perfect Patrick Stewart.
Only on radio though. It doesn't sound good off mic.
Oh man. So, like, here's the thing though. Also, the original series was pretty racially diverse, which is crazy for the 60s.
Well, that was crazy. That was like half the point.
Yeah,
Roddenberry was all into that, which is great for the time.
But so what you're saying is that this crew has either done something that has caused them to be entirely forgotten, or ultimately, no matter how dramatic this show is, they didn't do anything of like worth noting in any particular kind of way.
I'm just picturing like Riker being like, Captain, what about the previous crews of the Enterprise? Well, number one, there was Tiberius Kirk, there was Jonathan Archer, and there was another crew somewhere. I don't recall. They didn't really matter. They didn't really nothing.
And this does not exist in the movie universe. This is in the TV universe.
Yeah.
So why make it a prequel at all?
Right.
The technology's better. No one remembers them. You could easily have put this story after.
Yeah.
And it would make total sense.
Mm-hmm.
That in the trailer, at least. So I'm not going to judge it too harshly. But they didn't seem to have any particular Easter eggs for anything that would come after. This story could have happened after everything.
It's just going to be, seriously though. And the funny thing is, you're absolutely right. I just realized the farthest along canonically within the universe that we've seen in the Star Trek timeline is the end of Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cool, man. I mean, the end of Voyager was cool, but that's not cool because
in terms of building this universe beyond into what happens next.
The last thing we saw was in 1995. No, sorry, 2000 when the series ended. No, it was 2001.
I think it was 01.
Yeah, started in 95, ended in 2000. The last time we saw it, 9/11 hadn't happened yet. I'd like to point out.
And that was as furthest as we've gotten along story-wise.
Right.
This entire thing. Yeah.
We were cool with not being at war with anybody the last when the last Voyager episode finished.
We did not. There was not a missile strike every day the last time that this happened. Yeah. That's kind of crazy to me. And also, are we not running out of real estate between Enterprise and the original series? And I only say this because we want the show to be successful. But if it's successful, it will last a long time. In that time span,
day 1, day 2.
When you have a prequel like that, exactly what are you? Yeah, what kind of story are you trying to tell?
And again, they really can't do that much universe building because we already know everything.
Yeah, there's nothing it. There was some weird, there was some cool religious stuff with the Klingons. It looked like in the trailer too.
Yeah, that looked pretty cool. I think the Klingons are neat. I think it's cool the idea of the Klingon Wars being in Star Trek. That's awesome. Because
we can go further than this.
Seriously, because the end, as far as I know, Star Trek Enterprise, there's a peace treaty between the Klingons and the Alliance or the Federation, right? That's where we're at. There's a neutral zone and there's all that stuff. And then by Next Generation, we're cool with Klingons and there's really no problem. We chill out with each other. So having a series take place during the Klingon Wars is absolutely a good idea, but it should really only be a TV movie or a one shot.
Right.
IMO.
How did we get to the point where we were cool with everybody? That's the real part.
Exactly.
No one's trying to watch all the wars play out. I mean, that's not. What does that do for us?
Are they going to do Band of Brothers where it takes place over, the span of one campaign and you just see, the Battle of the Bulge for the Klingon equivalent? Yeah.
That would be cool, except I don't think that's what they're going to do.
And then the thing is, the captain's we're the Federation. We don't strike first. Why not? You're at war. That's what you do. You're going to lose.
Yeah, there is the sort of moral conundrum there, I guess, with that, where it's just, here's our stance on war. We're not about fighting, except, if you're at war with somebody, then there is only but so peaceful you can actually be before you just lose.
Also, by the way, the Romulans, we Federation was at war with the Romulans at the time.
I like the we.
We were at war with the Romulans in 2391. Captain's log, Stardate 2401. Just remember there was a crew before the Enterprise. Remember to tell Riker.
If this crew is involved, though, in the Klingon Wars, then that would mean that they did do something of note, and so they've just been forgotten because, which is ultimately the problem with making prequels.
Yeah.
Which, if you're going to do it, I like the way that they sort of did it with Breaking Bad, with the Better Call Saul,
which I've not seen yet, by the way.
I haven't seen it either. I saw one episode of it. It looks really cool, but it happens in a different place, right? So Saul and Walter, they don't know each other,
right?
And so they don't have to reference anything. Why didn't they know to do that in Breaking Bad? Well, they wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
This when you're in a universe, though, there's going to be some level of overlap, and we're at the point where the overlap is just kind of being either conveniently ignored or whatever. We know that it's just not written in there, but that's so weird.
And you have to be careful with this series like Star Trek, because the canon and the fans You know, like we get worked up about Star Trek. I especially get very worked up about Star. If they mess something up, I get upset. I didn't even like the first new Star Trek movie when it first came out. I was like, you can't do that. I like it now, but back then I was like, you can't do that.
I liked it in large part because I was like, oh, more original series stuff, and I thought Chris Pine was a decent Kirk. But also, I just bought the explanation, like, okay, this does not happen in the universe of the TV series.
Fine,
so
we'll
they
go
can
with that.
They can do what they want,
but still the split
within reason.
The split, okay, I won't.
Yeah, I get it.
Big, yeah.
Yes, I understand.
It shouldn't look like that. Is all I'm saying.
I hear you. Especially like the ramifications when you add Into Darkness on top of it.
Yeah,
then
with Khan.
With Khan, and like, but you've never fought with Khan, and then suddenly Khan's here, and
you're like, are there two Khans? Is there Khan Noonien Singh, who does not exist, who was not part of the Super Soldier program? You know, like the whole backstory of Space Seed does not happen, I guess. Also happens. Just
it can't, right?
Star Trek 2 just didn't happen, I guess, in this universe. What is going on? Like, did the superhuman drug wars not happen? Which I can't believe is something I'd ever say in my life. Did the superhero drug wars not happen, Your Honor?
I don't know.
Call a witness to the stand. Did the superhero drug wars not happen?
Which the only forgiving that I've done on that is that they made that to be a huge blockbuster flick and had put zero thought into it.
They did that for Star Trek 2 as well. You know what? It was a great movie. So
yeah. So I let it slide, but when it comes to the TV series, I get a little bit more territorial because it's like, okay.
Now listen here, boy. One thing I'm worried about, you mentioning that, by the way, you mentioning like, why don't they remember? You know, you're saying like, why don't they, like, is there something that happened that caused them to not be remembered? They had better not do the thing where like at the end of the series, there's some time thing.
Yeah, no, that we'd have to fight people.
Yeah, I would go to CBS and I'd shoot everybody. That would be it.
That would be.
And we say that as a CBS affiliate, by the way. So technically, people we're affiliated with, you know, loosely are making this new Star Trek.
Wow. Time to find upper management and crack some heads. Because
are you?
That aggression will not stand, man.
Okay, Bush, calm down. But one thing, by the way, it's CBS All Access, so it's not even going to be on TV.
Yeah,
and you have to pay to watch the dang thing. Who's going to do that?
I don't want to. So
I mean, it's a subscription. What am I going to do?
My whole thing is like, if I have to hear that it's good first, like I can't just pay for it and then support badness.
Yeah,
if it's good, I will pay for it and watch it, and then like I'll just sit around for season 2, I guess. But if it ain't good, they're not getting a dime from me.
No, like if I hate the first episode, it's like watch the first episode free. I'm like, okay, I watch it and I hate it. I'm not gonna buy the next one.
Yeah. What was wrong with putting this on TV? Why not put it on TV?
What's on CBS anyway? I mean, on TV. What are they gonna have to cancel?
Our favorite whipping boy, Big Bang Theory. That's about the only thing.
That's true. Cancel Big Bang Theory. Put Star Trek Discovery
back. Yep, there it is. We
Easy.
fixed your television problem, CBS.
Easy peasy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, actually, just show reruns of Next Generation.
I would be okay with
that.
You'll
get better ratings.
No, they're absolutely killing with Big Bang Theory, but
that's true. They make so much money.
So, foreign films.
Yeah. We've only got 8 minutes, so foreign films.
Yeah. So I was wandering around. There's a store nearby called Bargain Hunt,
which I've only been in once.
And they make it so that you have to come back more than once because, and when you go into the store every week or so, they'll drop the price again the longer the item is in the store.
Oh, so it's like Steam.
Yeah,
Steam summer sale.
Essentially.
Okay.
Just trying to rake your wallet over the coals.
That is evil. I love it.
So yeah, the longer the item's in the store. For me, I was just like, you know what? This is a decent price for a movie, so I just bought it straight up. I didn't even wait. Okay. I don't have the patience like that. And the movie I got was a movie called Infernal Affairs, which is it seems really cool. I like the cover art.
Yeah.
And it's the movie that The Departed was based on.
Yeah, which I've not seen, but I know what you're talking about.
It's been a while since I've seen The Departed, but I really loved The Departed when I watched it.
Yeah.
And it's a sort of it's a crime drama where there's somebody that's sort of a mole in the police department working for the gang, and there's a cop that's undercover in the gang working for the police, and it's sort of a who catches who first kind of deal.
Okay, cool.
With Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon.
Can't go wrong.
So I really like that. But when I heard that it was based on a movie out of Hong Kong, it piqued my interest. And then I saw the trailer for it. Someone posted it somewhere, and it looked really cool. And then I bumped into it at Bargain Hunt. They had a box with movies in it, and I just kind of flipped through it, and I saw it. And so I just went ahead and grabbed it because it was pretty cheap.
Awesome. And
so that got me to thinking, what are some other great foreign films that are out there?
Okay. I can tell you one that's one of my favorite movies right off the bat. Wong Kar-wai is one of my favorite directors of all time. He makes really visually amazing movies. And there are two movies of his that I really, really like, and I haven't seen many of the rest of them, but two really good movies he made. One is called Fallen Angels, which is one of my favorite foreign movies of all time. I look for it every time I'm at McKay's, and they never have it. The other one is Chungking Express, which is also an amazing movie. So either one of those are, like top 10 for me. They're sort of equally slotted. I like Fallen Angels more than I like Chungking Express in the sense that I'll watch it more often, but I like them equally. They're both amazing, amazing foreign movies. I love it. Anything Luc Besson does is great too, except for Godzilla. That sucked. But anything else he does is great.
Everything else. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I like foreign movies. I'm into that whole scene.
Me too. I think a lot of the foreign movies I end up watching come from Europe. Submarine is a really good British movie.
Submarine, that's the one Richard Ayoade did, right?
Yes.
I love that movie. That movie made me cry. Not many movies do that to me.
Yeah. It's an intense feeling situation going on with that movie. And also, like, it's very interesting when you watch a movie and you're like, that person's brain works how my brain works.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, this person is me. Like, so I get that from that, and also like a little bit in Mr. Robot. But
that's a frightening thought.
Yeah, except with less depression. Less depression.
Definitely less depression. Yeah.
So that movie to me is just a really good movie. And then Blue is the Warmest Color is a French movie. It's also kind of a romance thing going on.
I haven't seen that. I've seen plenty of webms from it, but I haven't seen
it's really good, though there are some scenes that are like sexually explicit. Yeah, definitely don't watch it with kids. Don't like it.
It's a movie to watch with your mom.
And of course it's the French. So like when the sex scene happens,
it's the most.
It's a long scene. Like it's not the sex is not implied. It's happening, and you're just like, oh, okay. I'll give it a minute or two.
They don't play about.
Oh gosh, this is still happening.
Yeah,
mercy.
Pretty much anything Jean-Luc Godard did is really good too. Speaking of French movies, pretty much anything he's ever done is
That's
great.
True.
I'm trying to think of it. Like I don't even think of British movies as being foreign.
Yeah, because we speak it.
Yeah.
So we speak English, so it's like, yeah, that's
okay. I'll hit you up with both a independent movie and an Australian movie.
Oh, go for it.
Mad Max, the first one.
That's true. Even though I haven't seen the first one,
it's very good. It's from 1979, and it looks like it's from the mid 80s. It's a very good movie.
I think my brother saw it and told me that I ought to watch it. I haven't gotten around to it yet. But
if you liked Fury Road, you'll probably like Mad Max even better, just because it's a lot like grittier and clunkier and more like mechanical than Fury Road was. Fury Road was great, but Mad Max, the first one, seems a lot more like guerrilla, put together in a basement, which pretty much was. There's a lot of trivia I could tell you about that movie, but you haven't seen it, so I won't.
I will get on that so we can, discuss it at a later show.
It's very good. Great movie.
But that one does definitely qualify. What is another one?
Is A Boy and His Dog a foreign movie? I feel like it is, but it might be an American movie. It's independent either way.
I'm not sure.
It's a post-apocalyptic movie about a boy and his dog. The dog can talk to him though, like telepathically, and he ends up in this like bunker with all these women who've never seen a guy before, and it's very 1970s. Like, guess what's going to happen? But it has a great ending. The ending is one of the best movie endings of all time, I would say, just because it's a really good ending. I won't say why it's a really good ending, but it's a very good ending.
Gotcha.
Turns out they were in America the whole time.
No. There's a movie called it's a martial arts movie. It's from Thailand. It's called Chocolate Thai.
I thought you were going to say Ong Bak. Okay.
Ong Bak was also on my mind.
Very good movie.
Yes. Whew.
Also, Chakotay is amazing. I've seen that. And what's the other one? The Raid.
I haven't seen The Raid.
Freaking come on. The Raid and The Raid 2 are some of the best martial arts movies ever made.
I know. When you're talking about seeing WebMs from stuff, I've seen WebMs from The Raid.
Oh, so good.
And I didn't know, like someone was telling me and someone confused me. They basically said, if you haven't seen The Raid, you can see The Raid 2 and be fine.
You can.
Okay. I think I'll just watch them both anyway.
Yes, please do.
But
because there is a small amount of plot, like at the very beginning of The Raid 2, it basically picks up right where The Raid left off.
Oh, okay.
But it's a whole nother story. Basically, The Raid 2 starts out with him referring to like the end of the last movie. So it's like minor spoilers, but I mean, you can tell what's going to happen immediately as soon as you watch the first Raid movie. It's like he beats up everybody. But The Raid 2 is a lot more cinematically impressive. The Raid is kind of rough around some of the edges. The Raid 2 is cinematically extremely impressive. I'll give you a good one that's obscure. And I've told you about this one before in private, off the air. It's a Soviet movie.
Mm-hmm.
Soviet movies don't get talked about very much ever because they tend to just be propaganda films. But there's a movie called Come and See, which is A, one of the first movies to use Steadicam, which is impressive, and B, it's a really good movie. It's a very disturbing war movie that uses sound design extremely well. It's set during World War II with partisan conflicts with the Nazis, which were extremely brutal on both ends. And it's easy to pick out who the good guys are, obviously, but on the other hand, they are commies, but whatever. They're partisan. They're village people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a whole lot of political motivation behind them. They just have like, we have to kill these guys who are, burning down our farms. So it's a very good movie. It's not like a pro-communist movie or anything like that. It feels very just like a war movie, and it's from the focus of a young boy. So very good movie. Come and see. Watch it if you can.
Yeah, I've
stand it.
seen things from that movie. I haven't gotten the chance to watch it myself. And I think you were the one that told me a lot of the explosions and things are actual explosions.
Yeah, there were real explosions. They really fired mortars, and they really fired live rounds over the actors' heads.
So yeah, go out, check out some of those movies. This is Two Millennials Talk. I'm Keon Rose.
I'm Russell Stroud.
See you all next week.
Bye-bye.
It is Eric Jones hard into the outside wall, and they are still 3 and 4 wide. It looks like